Alrighty, as requested, here's a quick shop update. Gonna give you a shop tour, all 3 seconds of it. No, actually, I got a whole bunch of things going on, so it's gonna be an overall update on everything and anything that I got planned and in the works. So, let's start with the ultimate workbench. Yes, the typical Walmart 8-foot folding table and all the mess. So let's tear down into this a little bit at a time. Recently I've gotten into airbrushing, so picked me up a cheap master airbrush kit, little compressor, some master airbrushes, and friend's Iwata that I borrowed. Now I'm getting a little bit better at what I do. And where I started with a homemade easel made out of rulers from the hardware store, and a little bit of work on some shading and some lines and stuff, and other stuff there. The big black area there was where I practice all my little fine lines and stuff, and just keep coating over it and just use a different color, and then practice spraying even. And then there was some color matching there that I just turned into a goofy looking face, and trying to learn some 3D shading there with the colors. So with that, move on to the plans for the GGBO 2022. As you can see, I'm going to be working on an Explorer. That first piece there in the front with the mint green and the white and the actual drawing on there is actually a cutout, freehand drawn Explorer body per dimensions I could find on the internet. And I base coated it black, sanded that down smooth, and the paints that I use, you can see them up there, are just cheapy Walmart finger paints to practice with. And the weirdest thing happened with the black paint. When I put it in the cup, it looked green. I started spraying it, it looked green. The more layers I got on, the darker it got, and it eventually turned into black. When I washed out the cup, however, it turned blue. So, yeah, I know the primary mixing for black is the green and the blue, but I don't know. That was pretty strange. Usually you get the byproduct or the end product, but not both, not separated like that. And I shook the bejesus out of it. Anyway, the idea is to go with a Lizzie Hale Steyr Explorer in the titanium white, and then I wanted to draw and carve in, actually do a relief carve of the Captain America chopper from Easy Riders. This is just an idea to get scale and all. Obviously that's not going to work with the pickups and all that, and I thought maybe doing a scale larger to take up the whole entire body would work out better, and you still run into problems with the big pickups in it. So the plan now is to go ahead with the Lizzie Hale bill, my version of it, and I'm going to do some carving, sort of like what Ben did with the complication. So I'm going to try something like that sits over all that, sort of like a case to make it look cool, or protect it, or whatever you want to call it. But we'll work all that out later once the guitar is built and we get more deep into it. Right now I just want the Explorer and get more time on a build. So that is that. Done and done. There's the start of the new testing. Got 1 or 2 coats of paint on that. Gonna do a couple more. Got smart this time and put holes in the body where the pickups are in the center line, so I know where everything needs to be lined up. And my homemade painting easel. Yeah. Gorilla tape, silly string, and yardsticks. Do what you got to do, man. Broke is broke. So now we get on to my last year's GGBO, which is on the bench. I'm going to start tearing that down, and I'm going to change the pickups out. Started with the Zach Wilds, and because I couldn't get the Glenn Tiptons, but as you see, I managed to acquire a set of Glenn Tiptons. The Floyd Rose FRX system was originally going to go on here, but I screwed up the brake angle and end up making this too low. So when I mounted the FRX on there, it put the action at its lowest setting, probably about that high. So that wasn't going to work. So that's getting torn down. But what I wanted to show was, in reality, people don't believe me, but this is all the tools I have to work with and what I built the GGBO with. Those are the colors I mixed, the dyes that I mixed for it for the body and the neck, and a failed experiment in the color. But that is that. And the only other thing was my little jumble kit here and a cordless drill I borrowed from a friend. But this year, we're going to be building in style. Got some upgraded tools. See if I can't put a big old nick in this guitar somehow. Bill's Law is real. So, got a smooth cut saw to cut the basic body shape out once I find a blank suitable to work with. And got a pole saw for the fine cuts. It's not them fancy dancy Iwasakis and all that stuff like that, but it's better than what I had over there. It beats the heck out of emery boards and foam sanding blocks. And then this is a really coarse razor plane that I got because a friend of mine gave me a nice chunk of rock maple for the neck that needs planing, and before I do anything with it. But that's for not this build coming up, but another build. Anyway, this is the Borgonian evolution chamber. Over there is the traditional family catch-all table where all the junk goes on until you decide what to do with it. And over here is my race drone crap. Got to sort all through that. I moved it all out of there so I can start rearranging the workbench again. And that's it. This is the evolution chamber. So the plan is here on this is I am going to break it down, and we got some things going with the winter humidity. Starting to feel the edges of the frets. They're getting a little bitey where they were perfectly nice before, so they've got to be retamed. I've got the Vengeance pickups that I'm going to swap out and use these pickups for the new GGBO on the Explorer. I like how these are. They're nice and dark and with a big fat body. It's going to make them even better. And then I'm going to do some more True Oil on this. And I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but there's some slight wearing on the fretboard in places. I'm going to get it before it starts getting into the dye. So I'm going to do that. But I'm also going to look into some 2K auto body clear, and I'm going to clear the whole thing, I think. Once it's redone, the oil's set in and dried and polished and shiny, and because true oil's nice, it makes it look nice, but it does crap for protecting anything, and it wears like you blow on it and it goes away. So on a maple neck, that's not going to work. I don't want those nasty fender gouges in the fretboard that you see with their maple necks and all that stuff. But anyway, enough yakking. This is what it is. This is what I got, and this is what I got planned. So there's the tour.